the Rob McLaughlin Gallery. My name's Noel.
And my name's Marta.
And today's project is the collage portrait.
This portrait is inspired by Rajni Pereira and the Made of Honey, Gold and Marigold exhibition. Let's get into it. The art piece behind me is created by Rajni Pereira. Portraits are used to capture the essence of a person. You want it to resemble someone, but at the same time, you want other people to connect with it. This week, we'll be taking a closer look at ourselves, and we will be trying to replicate ourselves with collage and printing.
Back when there were no cameras, portraits were painted. That was the only way to document how someone looks like. In most cases, they were made to show how powerful and important someone was. In the box, look for these materials: acetate, heavy cartridge, construction sheet, head template, ultrafine Sharpie, pencil and eraser, plexiglass and brayer, black, white, blue, and green printing ink, plastic fork and knife, natural textures, pattern colored paper, glue stick, and scissors. This will help you for the collage portrait. Grab the head template along with a pencil. We'll begin by drawing ourselves. As you can see, we are mapping out our face by drawing a vertical line down the middle of the face and a horizontal line from ear to ear. This will help us draw our eyes, mouth, and nose. Look for a mirror or a photograph to use as a reference. Use dots to map out the eyes, nose, and mouth. Begin by lightly sketching your eyes. Don't press too hard, just in case you make a mistake, it will be easily erasable. Now move on to your nose. And finally, the mouth. Make it have a funny expression, maybe a smile, puckered lips, anything you want. Let's finish it off with the eyebrows. Don't forget to add your pupils. And how about some eyelashes? To complete your portrait, finalize it with some hair. It can be a funky hairdo, or it can just be your natural hair. After you are finished drawing yourself, pull out your acetate, which is really thin plastic, and ultrafine Sharpie. Place the sheet of acetate over top of the drawing and tape the edges of the surface to your table so that the page doesn't move. After it has been placed, go ahead and trace your drawing with the ultrafine Sharpie. Now it's time for the fun part. Pull out your 2 pages of 6x6 heavy cartridge paper and 2 pages of your construction paper, plexiglass, printing inks, brayer, fork, knife, and some textures such as leaves that you might find in your backyard. Pull out your first ink and place a little bit of it on the plexiglass. Use a brayer to roll out the colors so that if you place the paper on it, it would be fully covered. Make sure you only use a little bit of ink. It needs to be super duper thin. As you can see here, it's so thin we can barely see the pattern behind the plate. Now quickly draw on your plate with your plastic fork and knife, adding textures as you go. Once the ink has been drawn, place a sheet of paper directly over top of the ink and rub the paper all over to make sure the ink will be picked up. After you have pressed the ink for a really long time, peel and reveal your masterpiece. Once your tools are clean and are dry, go ahead and repeat step 4 to 5 until all 4 pages have been printed on. Pull out your acetate and find the pattern in colored paper next. As you can see here, we're putting the textured paper right underneath the drawing and tracing it just below it. That way, when we cut it out, it'll be almost identical to the drawing. Also, make sure to start out with small things like your eyes, your mouth. That way, when you're finished, you can layer them over top with bigger things like your skin. For any of the bigger attributes, like your nose and ears, just rip out the paper to match. The pieces don't have to be perfect. To make it easier, make sure you turn over your acetate and begin ripping and cutting the paper into little pieces. Using the cut and rip pieces of paper, begin gluing them onto the acetate. Remember that we are not one color, so use different patterns for different attributes, eye color, hair color, etc. Also, remember to turn your page over once in a while to make sure your paper lines up with your drawing. Continue until the entire page of acetate is covered. Congratulations! You have completed your collage portrait. Thank you so much for participating in today's project. We'll see you next time. Bye!